What I'd like to do with the time that I have with you is to probably try to accomplish two things. One, in 32 years, I've certainly been around the block in this industry. And I'd like to share with you, first of all, how I started, how bad it was, the worst thing that ever happened to me in network marketing, what I needed to learn to shift from not so good to really knowing what to do. Would that be of interest to you? Now, as a teacher, I've been teaching. Some of you may know I'm a former university professor in the field of psychology and sociology. And as a teacher, I always try to give my students things that could shift them from where they were in life to a new place that they wanted to be in life. Well, let me tell you what I know about human nature. Most people will not. Isn't that unfortunate? What I'm going to say right from the beginning, it's not that you don't know what to do, it's that you know what to do, you just won't do it. How truthful is that for most people? So let me start by telling you my network marketing story. There was an associate dean that worked with me that reported to me, and at this time I was a dean of a senior college of business. And he told me that his wife had a silly little business. Now, this is 32 years ago. So he represented his wife's business as being silly. Now, we would not have 9 children if I suggested to my wife anything she was doing was silly. So he said, my wife Patty is having one of her meetings on Monday night, and she'd love for you to attend. And after him disclosing the silly little business aspect, what would you do? You're thinking, man, that's wonderful. I can't wait to get there. So I made an excuse, like I was busy, whatever. Now we're going to teach you right from the beginning what happens when you're persistent. That was the first week. The second week, he came at me again. He always got me when I was at the drinking fountain because I couldn't answer fast then. And he told me again about his wife's having her meeting. Would you please come and attend? She'd love you to attend. I made up another excuse. Now it's the third week. I made another excuse. The fourth week, I made another excuse. The fifth week, I made another excuse. Now I'm going to tell you something right now. About 90% of the people in this audience were probably gone and never thought of me again after the first or second. Are you learning anything? On the 6th invitation, I ran out of excuses. So I said, okay, I'll come this evening. I went home, and I said to my wife, we're going out this evening. And on the amount of money we were making, that meant the Spaghetti Palace, $1 a meal, all you can eat. And she said, where are we going? I said, we're going to Patty's got some kind of a business meeting, and she's invited me to go over there. Why don't you come along? And she said, doesn't Patty sell soap and pills? I said, I'm not sure what Patty sells. I said, but I'm not interested anyway. And she said, well, why don't you go ahead alone? I'll stay home with the children. And I said, fine. And I got out and I got in my car. And just as I was ready to leave, she came to the back door and she gave me one of these. You guys know what that means. Hold it, I got something to say. So I rolled down my window. Did you notice I didn't give it one of these? I rolled down my window and I looked out. I said, yes. And she said, remember, George, college deans do not sell soap and pills. What an encouraging way to go, huh? But I wasn't interested anyway, so that was good advice. I'm driving to the meeting, and as I was driving and getting closer to their home, I started to pray a little bit, and here was my prayer. God forbid any faculty member I ever worked with be at that meeting tonight. Did I have a problem? I had a huge ego problem. After all, selling was so undignified for a professor. No, you just have title and no money. So I got to the meeting. Things got worse. As I got into the meeting, there's 13 women. A guy about this high looked 100 years older than me, and me. Now, you can imagine me trying to hide. I went to the back of the room, I said, think of this. That was like trying to hide a pregnant elephant on a tight wire. So I sat back there, and they started talking about their product. And I said, thank God I'm not interested. This pill makes you jump higher. This pill takes care of arthritis. This pill you need for this one and that one. And then finally they put a little green bottle up, and this is nature's scrub brush. I said, this ought to be good. Yeah, you take it every day and it detoxifies the body. You got the picture? It's going to make you normal. Boy, I couldn't wait to get started. Well, the meeting went on. They were done with the products, and I was delighted to know I wasn't interested in a single thing. And then that little guy that looked 100 years old, he got up, and this man changed my life. He got up and he said, my name is Armand. I'm from Canada. I work in a factory in the United States for 35 years. And I make a brake shoe for automobile. And I retire. I'm now 72-year-old, and I retire when I'm 65. And one day I'm 69, 68, 69, and my wife, Peggy, she come to me and she say, Armand, you must go back to work. I said, Peggy, I work all my life. What do you mean go back to work? Why? Because we are still alive and we are running out of money. That was a human interest story to me, and I kind of liked this guy. I didn't know what he was going to say next, but I kind of warmed up to the vulnerability of his story. And then he said, my wife, Peggy, and I, a friend called us to come see the network marketing, direct selling business. And they say, don't worry, Armand, if you cannot sell. This business will take anybody. And he says to his wife, Peggy, we are anybody. Let's go see. So I'm listening to him, and I'm saying, it's pretty fascinating. I wonder where it's going. And then he said, my wife, Peggy, and I, we work as husband-wife team. Huh, Peggy? Peggy goes, yes, Armand. And today, 3 years later, we earn $10,000 a month. I almost fell off my chair. That was more than 3 times what I was earning, and it took me many years to qualify to earn it. The guy went to 5th year education, 5 years of formal schooling. He didn't speak the Queen's English. He was in a foreign country for him. He started a business at 69 years old. And at 72, he was earning 3 times a month more than I was. All of a sudden, whatever that stuff was on the counter that I didn't like, I was warming up just a bit. Well, I'm going to give you your PhD in network marketing right now if you're ready for it, because this is when he gave it to me. Are you ready for it? After the meeting ended, he went up to that table, and he had 2 shopping bags, one inside another. This was the level of sophistication for $10,000 a month. And he started putting those products in those 2 bags. And I went up to him, all the ladies left. And I said, Armand, my name is George Zalucki. I said, God, I am impressed. That was clearly a euphemism for I am jealous. I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yes, you can ask me a question. I said, tell me, how can a guy like me who's only been a teacher and a coach get into this thing, network something, and make $10,000 a month? Now, why did I ask that question? Why do you think I asked that question? Because that sounded good to me. Does it sound good to you? Well, why don't you ask for what you want in life instead of praying all the time and wondering whether it's ever going to come to you? Prayers without works mean nothing. Faith without works means nothing. So, he said, big man, you would like to earn $10,000 a month? I said, yes, that would be nice. He stood right in front of me, and he was about this high, I swear. I'm big, but this guy was small. And he's looking up like this, and he said, I ask you a question, big man. Listen to the question. Listen to it. Will you, big man, as represent 1 year of your life, I don't care if you do full time or you do with your spare time. You just have more time to do same simple things. You don't look over your shoulder left for 1 year. You don't look over your shoulder right for 1 year. You focus your mind, and you will succeed. Can you do that? He said. And I answered like most people. I was not quite advanced at that point in how things really get done. So I said, well, I think I can do that. And here's what he did. Oh, no, he said. Did I ask you, will you give 1 year of your life, no turn back effort, no look back left, no look back right, focus your mind? Did I ask you that question? By this time I'm getting a little irritated. I said, yes, you asked me that question. He said, then big man, you have yes or you have no. Now pick one. I said, yes, I'll do it. Now here's the best training I ever had in my life about success. What he said right now. Here's what he said. That's good, big man. I can teach you no more.